Alright guys, I'm going to be doing a video on how to basically field strip and clean a Mossberg 500 shotgun. This might be a little lengthy and kind of hard to see, but I'll try and get up as close as possible, and then I'll try and post a video separately for just the assembly and reassembly as well. Alright, so to get started here, first thing you want to do is do a safety check, make sure there's nothing in the chamber, nothing in the magazine, which there isn't. So first step is going to be to remove the barrel. So what you want to do is slide it back about halfway, and then you are going to remove the magazine cap. And then once that is removed, the barrel should just pull out and twist. Like so. Pretty simple. Alright, now once that barrel is removed, the next step is to remove the trigger housing. So there's a bolt right there that you're going to want to remove. I just take a punch, comes out the back, just take that out, set that aside somewhere where you're not going to lose it, and then pulls right out. And then, which will probably fall out, is your charging stop and charging interrupter, or cartridge stop and cartridge interrupter, sorry. So you'll just take both of those out if they don't fall out along with that. And then the next thing you are going to do here is the bolt slide. So pull that out. Just basically pull it back. And it should pop out. Playing with a little bit here. So there's your bolt slide. Pops right out of there. And then next, you can just go ahead and slide that off of there. And then your bolt, which is in the bottom there, you're actually just going to slide right out. That aside. And that was the easy part. So that's basically fully disassembled, and so next we will get into cleaning. Alright, now for the cleaning of the Mossberg. Basically what you're going to need is the 12 gauge rod. I actually have a brush attached to it as well. And then just some spray, COP, Ballistol, Rem oil, something similar to that. And then just some patches, Q-tips if you need them, and stuff like that. So pretty much the same as cleaning any other gun. But to get started, what I'm going to do is actually take a paper towel here, and I got an old t-shirt with this laying down. I'm going to take the barrel, and then I actually use CLP, and I'm just going to spray it down the barrel. Alright, and make sure that the coverage is pretty even on that. I'm going to take the cleaning rod with the brush attached to it, and then just kind of run it through there. Along with spreading that CLP around, this is going to help get all that crap that's in there removed. So just run that through a few times, then I'm just going to set the barrel aside for a while and let that soak. Okay. Next thing I am going to do is take all the parts, and then with just a little rag here, spray it down with some of the CLP. And then just start rubbing everything down with it. And I'm going to set the parts aside and let the CLP sit on the parts and break everything down as well, and start cleaning them. What this is going to do, like I said, just kind of break down all the posits and everything that's on here, and all these smaller parts. So you just want to make sure you get get in everywhere. Gets all that crap out of every crack here. Okay, I'm actually going to take another one and do the same thing to the inside chamber here. Just kind of wipe everything down inside the chamber. Helps if you pull that elevator out of there, it just clips it. That comes right out too. So sometimes I forget about that. Okay, I'll go ahead and wipe that elevator down then. Alright, so I'm going to let this stuff soak for a few minutes in this ballistol and then move on to the next step. Alright, now it's just time to go back with some clean cloths here and wipe all these parts down. I put a little bit of the CLP on the trigger housing here. Just want to make sure you wipe all that off, get everything nice and clean. Okay. What you can do for some of these smaller grooves to get into, you can either use a Q-tip to kind of clean in there as well, or what I like to use is these little pick tools, and then just take the rag and then you're able to kind of scrape in there with these as well. So it kind of helps get in some of the harder to get areas on some of these pieces here. So, like I said, just want to wipe everything down nice and clean until no more crap's coming off one of the rag and everything's dry. You can wipe this magazine tube off as well. And then all in here. And same thing, this tool, or you could use the Q-tips to get some of the tighter to reach areas. So just continue wiping everything down until you get it as clean as you want to, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, now the next step is to move back to the barrel once you got everything wiped down. One other thing I didn't mention to forget, once you after apply the ballistol or CLP to your parts, if you want to actually brush them down with the brush, you can do that just for a little bit deeper cleaning. So I didn't do that this time because it doesn't really need it, but that is something else you can do as well. So moving on to the barrel again, you're going to take a cleaning patch, clean one, dry, and then just start running these through the barrel until they come out nice and dry. See, that one's pretty dirty. Haven't cleaned this thing in a while. So, just gonna start taking some more patches and running them through. Alright, not quite as dirty this time, but still pretty dirty, so I'm going to keep running these through here really quick. Alright guys, so once you finish running all your cloths through the barrel and come out clean, the last step is I take another dry one, and then I take a little bit of lubricating oil, and then I'll put a little bit on my fingers and just wipe it on the cloth here. You don't want a whole lot, just a tiny little bit. And then what this is going to do is I'm going to run it through the barrel, and that's going to provide a little bit of lubrication for the barrel, because you know, I don't shoot this every day or that often, so that'll put a nice coat of lubricant in there. Alright. Kind of help keep it from rusting and everything like that. So, alright, now as far as lubrication goes, this gun doesn't take a whole lot. So what you can do is you can either use that precision one you have, or what I'll do is I'll just take a little bit of lubricant here and put it on a Q-tip. And you don't want a whole lot on there. And then what you're going to do is inside here, you're just going to go and put it along where it slides and everything, just a light coat, and maybe up top here as well. So not a whole lot, just enough though. Okay. And on the bolt slide, you really just need it on the sides, and you can really tell wherever there's wear showing up, that's where you can go ahead and put your little bit of lubrication in those areas. Just a little light coat. Bolt here. A little bit on the ejector. And then again, just any areas, especially like on the sides here where you're starting to see some wear. To put some along those areas. That's pretty much it, and now we'll start the reassembly process. Alright, now this next part, put it together, it takes a little bit of practice, so I'm going to give you kind of an up-close look without it in the chamber, just kind of show you what exactly is going to happen. So, take your slide here, your bolt, and your bolt slide. Essentially, on your bolt slide, there's this little groove here. It's actually going to fit inside bolt, just like that. So, just like that. And then, same token, these tabs in the slide here are actually going to fit in the grooves in here. So it's going to sit just like that. So when you get it together, essentially it's going to look just like that in the gun. So what you want to pay attention to is where on the bolt slide handles need to be, and it seems to be about right there. So just take note of that for when we actually put it in the gun. It makes it a little bit easier. Alright, so the first step is we're going to take our elevator and put that back in there. There's two tabs on either side, and we're going to make sure they go in the big slots on the gun here. Just squeeze it together to get it to fit in there. Okay. Once that's in there, then you're going to take your bolt and slide that back in. And then again, you want to make sure this side is on top, the flat side. Okay, once the bolt is in there, we're going to take our slide here, put it over the magazine tube. And then there's a couple holes, sorry about the bad lighting, but right there that you're going to put each end into, and you're going to slide it in. You're going to feel it stop. Then you're just going to pull them down, and then they'll go forward. Now this is where we're going to try and line up the bolt and the side handles exactly where they kind of fit with the slide. So it's kind of just a little bit of playing with it, so it's about right there to where it was. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see with the lighting, but you line that up. Then we take our bolt slide here and fit that into that groove like we're talking about. Just like so. So luckily that went in just fine, and it'll start sliding back and forth. Alright, next up, we're going to take our cartridge stop and interrupter and put them in there. So you're going to have one with a slot like that, and it's going to go in this side where you have your hole here, right there. So you put it in just like that. And then you're going to take the other side, goes in just like that. And you'll see where they fit in there. Gotta play around with it. Alright, once you got your stops in there, you might need to hold them in there just right. Move your bolt up a little bit to make room for your trigger assembly. And then you're just going to try and drop that in there. It helps if you go this front way first, and then should just play with it a little bit, drop on in there just like that. And then you're going to take your pin, hopefully that you didn't lose, put it back in here. Now you don't want to force it, just kind of play with the trigger until it goes through just like that. Alright. Alright, now to put the barrel back on, we're going to put that about halfway again. Slide it on here. Alright, and then tighten the magazine tube. Go. Now we'll pull it together. Everything should work. There we go. Alright. So that's just one way to take apart and clean the Mossberg 500. This is actually has the 18.5 inch barrel, but I'll try and get a just assembly and reassembly video linked up to here shortly so you don't have to go through all that cleaning. So if you have any questions or anything, just feel free to let me know in the comments. Thanks.